Hi, I'm Sarah, and I chose the topic of COVID-19 in Africa. So let's get started. So apparently there have been roughly an estimated amount of 1.9 million cases of COVID-19 in Africa, out of a total of 56.5 cumulative cases worldwide. So that's kind of hard to get a picture of, but I mean, Africa has so few cases compared to the rest of the world, especially for such a huge continent as it is. And another way to see this is that there's been about 37,000 deaths related to COVID in Africa compared to 1.3 million deaths worldwide. So that's such a tiny number compared to the rest of the world. And my research was mostly centered around why is there so few cases and why it impacted Africa as much as other places. So as you can see in the northern part of Africa on this map, there are bigger red circles in Algeria, Libya, and Egypt, as well as in South Africa. It seems like the biggest cases are in the far north and in the far south, mostly places that are more heavily trafficked and more often visited, I would say, from other countries towards the center of Africa. Um, this graph right here shows just how much other continents have been impacted by COVID. Asia, Europe, North America, Latin America and Caribbean, they've all been impacted so much more than Africa has, and the Middle East, but Africa is the least impacted by COVID-19 out of every continent in the world. And so it's just kind of strange and not what experts predicted. So some of the geographic factors that I chose to explain this phenomenon is the climate in Africa, for one, is a warmer climate. It sits over the equator, as we've discussed in class. Lots of the climates are savanna, desert, semi-arid, humid tropical, and grassland. A few of those are humid and warm. Some of those are dry and warm. Some of those have seasonal warm and humid, or dry and warm, things like that. And so this all comes together and possibly leads to the virus not spreading as much as in countries that are going through colder months now. That might explain why cases haven't picked up in Africa like other places. Another idea is the population demographic of Africa, as we've also discussed in class. The majority of Africa is young. The median age of Africans is 19 years old, and about 62% of sub-Saharan Africa's population is under the age of 25. So that really shows that there's not a big elderly population as much as in other places in the world. And COVID-19 most severely impacts the lives of the elderly, as we've learned through the news. So that's probably a big reason why Africa isn't as impacted as other places. A couple other factors that I thought about were that, as we've also learned in class, there's this huge deficit in information that we have on Africa, statistics and data, and this could all be contributing factors as to why we don't think there's as many cases as there might actually be in Africa. Another likelihood is that Africa has in the past responded to all sorts of different virus outbreaks and epidemics in their continent, and especially with Ebola. And so they might be better equipped to respond to things like this and take things like this more seriously than other places would. It's just a possibility, but those were the ideas that I had in my head, and I really enjoyed this project. So thank you so much. Bye.